and welcome to today's local government education program provided by the University of Illinois Extension, co-hosted by the FNM Regional Growth Alliance. My name is Courtney Yockey, and I am the new president and CEO of the Alliance, starting this position just last week. Before introducing our topic and presenter today, we have a little housekeeping to cover. Please keep your microphones muted for the presentation. If you have comments or questions, please use the chat space and we'll attempt to address them in a timely manner. Also, if you're experiencing any audio or connection issues, please inform us through the chat space as well. Do note that participants will receive a copy of today's slides, along with links to any resources into the recording of today's webinar. A little bit about myself. I am a certified professional community and economic developer with 7 years of experience in consulting local governments and working one-on-one with private businesses to expand operations, promoting economic development while creating and retaining employment opportunities. I have over 10 years of managerial experience and a Master's of Business Administration degree from the University of Illinois. The FNM Regional Growth Alliance is a nonprofit public-private partnership organization whose mission is to spur economic growth in Effingham County. Today's webinar covers workforce investment opportunities areas and offerings in Illinois. Our presenter is Jamie Korda Hachawi, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Jamie will provide us with a legislative summary and update of the Federal Workforce and Innovation and Opportunity Act, also known as WIOA. Jamie will also cover regional and local offerings, workforce investment areas, and resources. She'll highlight the area that she covers, Local Workforce Investment Area 23, in a discussion around local services, partnerships, and impacts. Jamie is the Director of Workforce Investment for WIOA 23, based at Lakeland College, where she strives to connect job seekers and employers through their business development programs. She brings federal grant writing experience, as well as a passion for strengthening the economy through career and technical education from her previous position as Lakeland's Perkins Grant Specialist. Jamie has held managerial and operational responsibilities throughout her career. She understands the importance of helping job seekers re-enter the workforce and knows how vital it is to provide access to education, training, and employers, enabling job seekers to succeed in the labor market and matching employers with skilled workers. Jamie enjoys seeing those she has worked with beam with pride when they accomplish their goals, be it learning a new skill or obtaining a stable job and providing for their families. She holds a master's in business administration from Eastern Illinois University. Jamie, thank you so much for being here today, and I'll turn it over to you now.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me, Courtney. Hello, I am Jamie Korda Hachawi, the Director of Workforce Investment at Lakeland College for Local Workforce Innovation Area 23. I'm thrilled to be here today to talk about the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, or WIOA, and how each of you can benefit from our programs. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to learn more about the best kept secret across South Central Illinois. And maybe I need to share a different screen. Sorry, one moment. I had that working and then it didn't.
Gotta love technology, right?
Yes.
No worries, no worries.
Okay, there we go, awesome. So what I'm going to do today is give you a general overview to help you understand what WIOA is, who WIOA 23 is and our role in WIOA, who our partners are, and what services we provide, and finally, the outcomes of our work. There will be time at the end of the presentation for questions. I sincerely hope that you come away from this presentation with a better understanding of how WIOA 23 business services can help your organization to grow and to strengthen the local workforce. So WIOA is legislation that is designed to strengthen and improve our nation's public workforce system and help get Americans, including youth and those with significant barriers to employment, into high quality jobs and careers and help employers hire and retain skilled workers. So there are 6 broad goals of WIOA. 1 is to increase access to education, training, and employment, particularly to those people with barriers to employment. 2 is to create a comprehensive, high-quality workforce development system by aligning workforce investment, which is me, education, and economic development. 3 is to improve the quality and labor market relevance of workforce investment and economic development efforts. 4 is to promote improvement in the structure and delivery of services. 5 is to increase prosperity of workers and employers. I like that one. That's a noble goal. And 6 is to reduce welfare dependency, increase economic self-sufficiency, meet employer needs, and enhance the productivity and competitiveness of the nation. Those are great goals. WIOA really is excellent legislation. That's great, but what is LWIA 23 then? Who is workforce investment? Well, LWIA 23 is an economic development region in South Central Illinois. You can see the map here on the screen. We are the local Workforce Innovation Board. We're a board comprised of public and private representatives of our 13 counties who all hold WIOA visions at heart. It is also the LWIA 23 director, myself, and our staff members. And last but not least, it is our service provider, SEFs. Together, we all make up LWIA 23 and strive daily to implement the best WIOA-funded programming possible. There's representation from every county on the local Workforce Innovation Board. The director and staff are based out of Mattoon at Lakeland College. And as you can see from the map, there are several SEFs locations throughout the area. We cover a lot of ground and serve many people. In Mattoon, Robinson, Lawrenceville, Olney, Effingham, Vandalia, Centralia, Illinois, and everything in between. Now, I have noticed that many of you are from cities outside of our area. There are 21 other LWIAs across the state. Your local Workforce Innovation Board will offer similar programs as we do, so this overview will still hold value for those of you based outside of the 13 counties shown on the map. There may be some differences in processes, but overall, we all do the same things. Please reach out to your local Workforce Innovation Board for details specific to your region, and I would be happy to connect you with the right contacts after this presentation. So WIOA sets 6 broad goals for us to achieve. In LWIA 23, the board, the staff, and the service provider, we work together to implement those strategies to achieve the goals. Our mission is to create a workforce talent pipeline connecting people with sustainable employment through our training services. We work towards our mission by supporting and funding work-based learning programs, encouraging and facilitating attainment of industry-recognized credentials, supporting disadvantaged individuals, creating business and sector partnerships, and through collaborations with local education institutions. None of this is possible without teamwork and partnership. So who are our partners? Well, we want everyone to be our partners, really. We want to work with just about anyone who has anything to do with the workforce and with strengthening the economy. Just to list a few, our partners include local employers, higher education, economic development organizations, Illinois Department of Employment Security, adult education programs, Illinois Department of Rehabilitation Services, labor unions, Department of Aging, Perkins programs, CSBG programs, and TANF, just to name a few. Looking at this list, you might think that those partners seem to be very different and a variety. However, we all have the same common goal of serving our communities. So let's leverage our unique positions and abilities to make our workforce stronger and more skilled. You've heard me mention CEFS quite a few times. CEFS is the Economic Opportunity Corporation that provides our WIOA services for us. They are one of our core partners and they are an integral element for LWIA 23. As our service provider, this means that they are the boots on the ground for WIOA programming. CEFS manages and coordinates individual cases of people participating in WIOA programs. For most of our services, CEFS will be your main point of contact. They excel at outreach, and we owe most of our program successes to their career managers. Remember all that ground we cover, all those 13 counties on the map? The career managers are spread out across all that land space to bring services to those even in the most rural regions of LWIA 23. CEFS is not just limited to WIOA services either. They provide a smorgasbord of community action services and social services and assistance to all walks of life. I cannot even begin to describe the scope of all the services they offer. So if you are interested, I highly recommend you check out their website, and that is cefseoc.org for more information. Great. Okay, so we've covered a little bit about WIOA, described what LWIA 23 is and our partners. I know it's been kind of vague, but I'm just doing high level bird's eye view things. But you're probably wondering what exactly all this means still and how we help you. And that's great. We're getting to that now. LWIA 23 and CEFS, we act on the strategies we talked about a few slides ago. And the results are our service programs. There are several services. Some are focused on job seekers, some focused on employers, and a few that target both. Our programs are pretty amazing, and sometimes they even sound too good to be true. But I assure you that they are very real. Each program is unique from the others, but they all have the same end goal in mind, strengthening the workforce. All of our programs ultimately benefit both employees and employers. However, in this diagram, I do have it divided out by our focus or direct recipients of services. But again, everyone benefits here. So looking at the job seeker side, I'll talk a little bit about our rapid response. That program is a proactive and flexible program designed to respond to layoffs and plant closings by quickly coordinating services and providing immediate aid to affected workers. In a rapid response event, CEFS will work with employers and employee representatives to quickly maximize public and private resources and to minimize disruption associated with job loss. Rapid response can provide customized services on site at an affected company, accommodate any work schedules, and assist companies and workers through the painful transition associated with job loss. So again, you see there's a direct effect on the job seekers, but the employers also benefit. And when they do have to shut down, they know that their employees have services available to them. On the other side of the diagram, looking at incumbent worker training, sometimes I'll refer to it as IWT. That is a program that provides both workers and employers with the opportunity to build and maintain a quality workforce and increase both participants and companies' competitiveness. Incumbent worker training is a type of work-based training and upskilling designed to ensure that employees of a company can acquire the skills necessary to retain employment and advance within their company, or to acquire skills necessary to avert a layoff. Incumbent worker training is responsive to the special requirements of an employer or a group of employers in partnership with training providers. Incumbent worker training is not a cookie cutter service. There's no one size fits all. It is truly designed for the specific needs of the business. The company, in conjunction with LWIA 23 staff, namely Tony, our operations coordinator, together they design an incumbent worker training plan. Tony is the guru. He sits down with each employer to help them identify their needs. Tony guides them through the entire process and makes certain that the organization receives reimbursement for training costs as efficiently as possible. So your employee gets trained to develop a new skill, and LWIA 23 pays for it. Yes, that's what I said. That's absolutely what we do. You determine your needs, you pick your training provider, and we write the check. Then looking there in the middle of the diagram, you'll see youth work experience, which provides young adults the opportunity to develop employability skills, enhance their career readiness, and cultivate occupation-specific skills. CEFS provides career coaching. They assist the young adults in placement at a local employer, and they pay the participants' wages while they work for the employer. As a youth work site, you would commit to mentoring and training young adults at no cost to you. It's really a phenomenal program that helps prepare a new generation for the workforce and gives you the ability to train them without incurring the costs normally associated with a new hire. I know we've all heard stories or had some of our own stories about recent high school graduates or young adults who do not possess the best soft skills. Maybe they need some improvement in their communication or social skills even. And sometimes it's just basic stuff like punctuality and reliability. This is a common issue that we think this program will help out with, and we are seeing differences being made. Youth who participate in this program benefit. They have the incentivized practice of developing these skills. They have a designated mentor, and local businesses benefit from having additional help and potentially molding a future full-time employee. Again, kind of sounds like it's too good to be true, doesn't it? But it's not. It's 100% real. I promise you, we do it all the time. So there in the middle, you'll also see apprenticeships. They are earn and learn models that can be applied to countless occupations across numerous industries. Employees train for an occupation through hands-on work experience while completing an academic component of training as well. The combination of hands-on and academic, it varies depending on the industry and the occupation. If you've been paying attention, you're probably thinking right now, that sounds a lot like the youth work experience you just described, Jamie, and the incumbent worker training. And you're right, it does, because basically those two programs are informal apprenticeships. However, there is an option for a more formalized Department of Labor registered apprenticeship, and LWIA 23 can help local employers develop those too. Maybe you've thought about apprenticeships, you've seen them in other areas of your industry, you're thinking about getting one, but you have no idea where to start. Well, now you do know where to start with your LWIA. We do the paperwork, we do the running around, while a designated navigator guides you through the process from start to finish. In the end, you have a highly trained, loyal, dedicated employee that brings value to your organization. Not to mention some tax savings through the Illinois Apprenticeship Education Expense Tax Credit Program. And I think everyone likes to save a little bit of money on taxes. Finally, we have on-the-job training. You may hear me refer to that as OJT. On-the-job training allows local employers to hire and train skilled workers and receive reimbursement for their wages during the training period. An OJT specialist at CEFS will help identify eligible candidates ready for training. Through assistance from CEFS, local employers receive reimbursement for wages during a defined training period. So wait, while the new hire is working and training for this occupation-specific skill set, the employer receives reimbursement for wages. That's exactly how it works. This allows employers to reduce the risk associated with new hire training costs and for them to be able to offer a higher starting wage to incentivize retention of new hires. The employee receives other supportive services like transportation, childcare, and any other assistance they need to overcome barriers to employment. Everyone wins here. All right, that was a lot. I just shoved a whole lot of information to you, and that was just a general overview of each program. I didn't even get into any of the details yet, but I will save that for another webinar, or we can have a private discussion later. We really do have a lot to offer. There are so many ways we can help both individuals and businesses, and we're always ready to help more. Now, I bet you're wondering how you can get a project started with us. Well, it's pretty easy. Usually it starts with a phone call or a meeting with myself and Tony, our operations coordinator. We help you ascertain your needs based on where your business is now and where you want it to go. Then we help you develop a plan that best meets your needs. And now the plan's ready for execution. It's that easy. It sounds super easy. And I'm going to give you a little example of how easy it really is. So for example, let's imagine you have a driver. His name is Bob. Bob is super reliable. He's very charismatic and he's full of potential. He just started working for you about 6 months ago and you're seeing that he has a lot of possibilities. You think that he will make a great salesperson and you want him to start working in your sales department. But first, Bob needs to get some sales training. He's never done sales before. You do have a really awesome salesperson named Dan, one of your best, and he's told you about the training that he took a while back through CP Sales Training, Inc. This is an imaginary company. And you think Bob should go through that same training program too, but Dan had mentioned that it was a little bit pricey. No worries, it's not a problem at all. Tony will help you go through the painless process of creating an incumbent worker training agreement. Your driver, Bob, starts training for his new sales position. He's loving it. He's doing well. Things are going great. And then you receive an invoice from CP Sales Training, Inc. That's not your favorite part of the process. But then you remember that you had an agreement with Tony. Tony said that Elwea 23 will reimburse you for up to 90% of the training costs. Awesome, 90% of the training costs. So after you pay the invoice, you show Tony your proof of payment and he gets a reimbursement check cut to you very quickly. So now you have this super highly skilled salesperson at virtually no cost to you. And you also have an open position for a driver. We got you there too. Tony gets you in contact with the on-the-job training specialist at CEFS to get that position filled and begin training someone new. Say this guy, Joe. So now you have Joe training in the role as driver and you're receiving up to 75% reimbursement rate on the wages that you pay Joe. Easy peasy. Those few steps and a little bit of initiative that you have to take to get the ball rolling, it's very easily justified by the amount of cost that you're saving. So I know there's a few of you out there who think that's a lovely story, great, but you're numbers people. You're not easily convinced by stories and hypotheticals. Well, I got some numbers for you. We do make a difference. We're doing lots of great things. You'll see that last year we had 520 participants that we served. 461 of those participants received direct training. That's 461 people who may not have had the opportunity, the ability, or the funds to go through any additional training. We were able to help them get new skills that they need to be self-sufficient.
And Jamie, real quick, the 520 and 461, is that just for Elwea 23?
That's just for Elwea 23, yes. And just for Elwea 23 as well, we had 1.7 million WIOA funds injected into the regional economy through our training programs. 1.7 million through those 13 counties I showed you earlier. Let's break it down county by county, and you'll see all 13 counties got a slice of the pie. We're really helping the entire region. So seriously, everyone wins. All the counties get a piece of the pie, job seekers get opportunities, employers get skilled workers and assistance with training, training providers get new enrollments and strengthen industry partnerships, and communities get stronger local economies. There are no losers here. It's a win-win situation if I've ever seen one. So why are we the best kept secret? We shouldn't be. There are tons of wonderful services for you to take advantage of, and I really hope that you do. LWIA 23 is also, we're part of the Illinois WorkNet Center and a proud partner of the American Job Center Network. We have vast resources at our disposal, and we would love the opportunity to connect you with those resources. Check out illinoisworknet.com to see the great things going on across the state. So I want to say thank you again. Thank you so much for your time today and for your interest in WIOA. My name is Jamie Korda-Hajawi, and feel free to contact me for more information. My phone number and email address are there on the slide, and I do believe you will be receiving copies of the slide deck after the event. So that was a lot of information, all crammed in one little nugget and shoved into your heads, and it might take a little bit of time for you to digest it. But do you have any questions for me so far?
And Jamie, if you would, or pull your slide back up and go back to where your contact information was. And
yeah,
most certainly wonderful presentation, and thank you for presenting today. We do have time for questions. Please go ahead and continue to post any questions in the chat. And if we do run out of time here, we've got a decent amount, but by chance do, presenters have your contact information, can contact you directly. So I think it's important here to note that although you are with LWIA 23, the Local Workforce Investment Area 23, and just covers those specific counties, there is an equal of you in all the other LWIA regions or districts, however is most appropriately said. Can you cover that real quick, how many there are? And I put a link in the chat to the Illinois WorkNet's website to where you could see that map and show where the various areas are.
Thank you. There are, if I remember correctly, and I am a little new in this position, so I don't remember everything exactly spot on. I think there are a total of 21 other LWIAs in the state. And everything's done just a little bit differently depending on the region. They're not all 13 counties each. Some are just one county. And they don't all necessarily have something real big banner that says we're LWIA 3 or we're LWIA 22. So that sometimes it does take a little bit of digging and know how to identify who you would contact for these programs in your area. And I would be happy to help you navigate that and find the correct person to contact.
Yeah. So Dana Washington had noted that there's 23 here in the state, and Brian put another link in the chat. Thank you, Brian, for contacts of those professionals in those respectable areas. So thank you, participants, for assisting us here. Nina has a question. Did you find this was providing more opportunities for women and minorities?
That's an excellent question. I don't have a specific answer on that. I can find an answer, and I would be happy to share that with you later if I can get your contact information. I do know that in some of those programs, we do focus on and give priority to people with disabilities, people of veteran status, and other special populations who are facing additional obstacles.
Hey, and Nina said that she will email you, so thank you.
Thank you, Nina.
And then, I'm a huge advocate for utilizing resources that are made available to you, and partnered with Jamie and Tony and Jamie's predecessor in economic development. And this is an excellent thing to bring to your employers. And not only economic development, but if you're in the chamber, if you're a mayor, if you're a council or board member or whoever you are, it's something that we need to educate our employers on, that this resource is made available to them, and it's actually really easy to use. And Jamie, can you talk a little bit to the ease? I know you mentioned it previously, but I think it's important to note how easy and how well of a customer service standpoint that you guys take.
We really do try to take the load off of our participants and try to make things as easy as possible. With all of the programs, there's slightly different things that you would need to do. But for instance, the apprenticeship. To do a registered apprenticeship, really, you contact us, you do a one-page form where the most intrusive information required is like your FEIN number. And then we do all the paperwork from then on. For the on-the-job training, there is a time you have to sit down and identify what skills you anticipate or what learning objectives you anticipate the employee to learn in a specific amount of time. And you will turn in progress reports and copies of their clock-in information, their timesheets, but then we handle everything on the back end. So there's some submitting that you have to do, but not a whole lot of reporting that you have to do.
So very user-friendly, if you will.
Yes.
And then from Mike, Mike had asked, are there any annual regional funding limits for any of these programs? For example, like the apprenticeships.
It varies from program to program and from region to region. Each of the LWIAs, they have their own policies on if they want to put limitations on there. And then of course we are all limited just for funds and what we are allotted each year anyway. So that question is hard to answer. Yes, there's limits, but sometimes there's not limits. It just is going to depend on the circumstance.
And when you said for each LWIA, each local workforce investment area, and that is managed by a board, and that board is made up of stakeholders, business community leaders that represent the region throughout each county, correct?
Yes, for us, it's the region for each county. For other LWIAs, they may be comprised of just one single county. So yes, all of their representatives would be from that one.
But nonetheless, local representation to try to deploy these funds and these resources out to businesses to offer the assistance.
Exactly. We are managed by people who are here in the area, who know what is going on in our region, what challenges we're facing, what opportunities we have, and that in that way we could be more dynamic and responsive to the local trends. Mm-hmm.
And in working with Jamie and working with her colleague Tony, it's important to we would work together to sit down with employers, and we'd be very quick. And I can speak to Jamie's professionalism and Tony's professionalism. Always brought value to the conversation, and our employers, they're busy enough, and especially with their day-to-day and having to manage however many people and who knows how many fires they're trying to put out. So it's nice to remind them every once in a while that there is assistance available for them. And whatever they were doing, I would always encourage all my employers to investigate these programs and to see if that is applicable for them, to not leave anything on the table. And I think, Jamie, you would concur on that. Just, yes, every once in a while, get in the ear of your employers and let them know that, hey, we are here to help, and this is something that can help you. So Joseph has a question. Do you collaborate with extension educators in community economic development who may be working with your youth employment readiness or leadership development in terms of lessons learned regarding processes or relationships? What would you say was the most important factor for success in your work? So let's attack that one at a time. Have you worked with the local community economic developers, the extension educators in various areas?
Yes, we actually have one of the extension educators is a board member of ours. So hands-on, very involved. And obviously I've worked with economic development organizations, not only for networking, but for marketing and just getting the word out there, making those connections.
Mhm. And it's good to collaborate. You know, we
Yes.
don't want to work in silos. We want to
For sure.
all move to the same. I mean, we're all working towards the same common goal here,
Exactly.
and we don't want to irritate our businesses either. And where I'm calling them and you're calling them and somebody else is all in the same thing, they're going to say, "Hey guys, let's get together and just one phone call, one meeting. Let's do something positive here."
Precisely.
And then the second questions in terms of lessons learned regarding processes or relationships, what would you say was the most important factor for success in your work?
That's a good one. I think communication and building relationships, being relatable and really listening to what our partners need. What do you need? What are your plans? And how can we help you with those plans? We hate to say no. Sometimes there are plans that we are not eligible to help you with, but we can find resources or help you locate other avenues to get the help that you need. So I would say the relationship, the listening, and really approaching it holistically, not just what I can do for you, but what can be done for you. Can I help you find anything else as well? That relationship, that rapport, and that holistic approach has been most successful so far.
Awesome. And we have a quick poll, Nancy, if you will, send out the poll, and if participants will let us know. Please choose the appropriate choice on your screen, and we have a few more minutes for additional questions, but please run through the poll. And Mike has an additional question, Jamie. Has your earmarked apprenticeship funding been adequate to meet demand in recent years?
So for LWIA 23, I don't have anything that is specific to apprenticeship. Other LWIAs do, and other community colleges even have applied and received apprenticeship expansion grants. We've worked closely with some of those colleges on some of those grants. We've worked with other LWIAs on those grants. So while we don't have specific apprenticeship grant money, we do have funds that can be used towards apprenticeships. So don't worry about that.
So even if it's not an offer, and definitely willing to work with whoever it is to try to meet their needs. So
yes.
Okay. And
Exactly.
and Mike, if you've got maybe was seeking something a little different to that or a little additional info, please feel free. You can unmute yourself right quick and ask away, or if that satisfies you, let us know. So we are coming up on about 40 minutes for this presentation. We want to be respectful for people's time. We haven't had any additional questions come in, but we definitely have had a lot of good ones come through. And Jamie, thank you for letting us, kind of pry at you a little bit. And Mike did follow up saying that was a good answer. He's not able to jump on, but again, you will receive presentation materials and a link to this to the recording for this webinar and a follow-up email yet today. You may also visit the Extension's website for more information on this webinar and to view past webinars or register for future events as well. Please go to go.illinois.edu/LGE. And I think we are going to finish her up for today. Jamie, thank you again for presenting to us, and thank you for everyone your interest in today's topic, and have a great day.
Thank you for having me. Bye, everybody.